Hello and thank you for joining us for Game 4, where Golden Guardians will aim to take down Team Liquid. My name is Clayton Captain Flowers Reigns, and alongside me, and sharing my pain of when you're just too far ahead of everybody else on your team to properly tax their lanes with those new jungle item debuffs.
Goddamn Monster Hunter!
Kobe Hartman Kinsler, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
We got a lively crowd here today. They're excited.
I like this crowd. They took part in our selfie, our pregame selfie.
This is an S+ tier crowd. But now, loading onto the rift, let's check out the players today. It's the Golden Guardians here on the blue side with Lorlo in the top lane, Contracts in the jungle, Mickey at mid, Deftly and Matt bottom lane and support with Coach Tyler.
And facing them on the red side is Team Liquid. In the top lane, it's Impact. In the jungle, Smithy. Mid lane, Pobelter. Bottom lane, Double Lift. And support Ole with Coach Kane on stage.
Now, last week, Team Liquid ended the week with a win that gave a lot of confidence to their fans, especially after things have been a little crazy so far this split.
Yep, Double Lift, he got Kaisa, and Team Liquid, they do look like a different team when he's ahead compared to when he's behind. As you can see there, some stats. Team Liquid, they're 5-1 when Double Lift is ahead at 15 minutes, and 1-3 when he is behind at 15 minutes. That also has some correlation to whether he's playing a marksman or whether he's playing a mage. They haven't had much success on the new style bottom lanes.
Well, unfortunately, Double Lift will have to repeat that kind of all-star performance against the Golden Guardians, a team that has picked up recently and found some wins through bottom lane.
That is true. Double Lift has been super outspoken about how much he hates Heimerdinger specifically, and definitely was kind of the poster child for North American Heimerdingers. He was the first one to go to Heisendog, get his coaching in, and actually has played it on stage and demonstrated that he has a very good grasp of the champion. Another thing, though, on top of just the champions for bottom lane, Contracts. He has been camping bottom lane. He has the highest jungle difference as far as time spent towards bottom compared to their opponents in the league, to both the bottom lane carry, as we'll call them now, as well as the support there.
And Golden Guardians, I mean, this is the team that when you look at the standings from the end of last split, they were at the bottom, they weren't seeing a lot of success, and now that everything has entered into this state of so much chaos here in Summer Split with so many large changes to the game, the Guardians have been doing a great job of just adapting and saying, hey, I think this will work, let's play this. Exactly in line with the Heimerdinger. They say, let's do it. Let's jump on board the Heimerdinger train. They're not clinging to these old ways. They're jumping right into the new, and it's working out for them.
Yeah, if you listen to some of the content the Guardians are putting out, they talk to their coach Tyler a lot, and he talks about focusing on their own game plan and what they're doing, and not trying to focus a lot on the opponents and trying to come up with crazy counters or anything. So we'll see what they have in store for Team Liquid here. As the Golden Guardians and the switch in meta you are talking about could affect especially Mickey. I think Mickey is one of the guys where he looked very good on the Talon. He also had a very good Zoe game when Contracts ganked mid a lot, but he has also had some pretty big mistakes on stage. So we'll see if he has to use a different champion here, and if they are a little bit more diverse.
Well, speaking of diversity, Red side hasn't got to have a lot of diversity in their first round of bans recently. Nocturne and Aatrox occupying almost permanent roster spots there, and they will this game as well.
Yeah, we say that, but yet just today we had Nocturne getting through some games, Aatrox went through, and didn't look like Darshan was, that up to date on the Aatrox, or didn't work out very well for them. In the matchup on top side. Here we go, though. Looks like Mickey won't have to use a different champion. Zoe early picked here. All the mid laners will be very happy to be able to get this one. If you remember, last time around, Contracts had, I think it was Xin Zhao, an aggressive jungler, ganked mid a bunch of times, got Zoe fed, and Mickey just took over.
Well, definitely the kind of champ that you can become a scourge on the Rift if you get ahead with her. It's nigh impossible to keep yourself away from the Trouble Bubbles and the Paddle Stars. And
I know it is one of your
that long-range artillery, man. It's so darn hard to play around. But Team Liquid, they'll get some long-range power of their own, picking up the Varus very early here for Double Lift in the bottom lane. They'll complement that with the Trundle picked up.
Yeah, we just saw Lost, the Oceanic AD carry on Echo Fox just last game, making Varus look really good with the lethal tempo there. Here we go. It will be paired with Trundle. Very, very standard there from the jungle. And Team Liquid will have the ability to shred tanks, which works super well with their kind of standard style that we've come to know from this squad. They'll have the AD carry there for Double Lift, strong front line, and then the midline AP mage there for Pobelter. Meanwhile, there you go. You get your Heimerdinger, Mr. Flowers.
Heimerdinger locked in, much to the dismay of Double Lift, who likely not too big of a fan of that, considering you already informed us of Double Lift's opinion on that champion earlier. As we hop out of Champion Select for a moment.
Heimerdinger's picked. We forgot about that one.
Oh, wait, hold on, guys.
Abort.
Restart. Everybody gets a redo, right? We'll see exactly what sort of issues are plaguing Champion Select, and hopefully we can get back into the game sooner rather than later. But Heimerdinger picked up for the side of Golden Guardians. We already hit on it. It's done some amazing things so far. NA learned a lot of hard lessons about Heimerdinger at Rift Rivals.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Golden Guardians picking those up.
And I think it is, primed now to bring back some of the jokes from Rift Rivals. We did interviews with the players beforehand. I believe it was the 100 Thieves bottom lane, Aframu or something, was saying if they have to play against Heimerdinger, they're instantly forfeiting at 1 minute. Looks like Team Liquid have up to the timeline here. As soon as the Heimerdinger's locked in.
Pre-1 minute forfeit. Well, I have been informed Champion Select is now going to play out. Bans are all the same up until they were, and everything up through the Heimerdinger pick will also be the same. Apparently, the third pick on the side of Golden Guardians with the Ezreal was some sort of a client glitch, some sort of error. So that one will be different, but everything else is the same.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have different languages they're working with as well, so doesn't always go according to plan, but we'll get right back into the Champ Select and pick it up where we left off. That means we can talk about how it's going to set up around this Heimerdinger, because that was the last for real pick that was locked in here. And that's going to be two very powerful lanes already for Golden Guardians. Zoe in the mid lane for Mickey, as well as a Heimerdinger and Fiddlesticks in the bottom lane.
This pairing, you always see this. When you get the Heimerdinger in bottom lane, it's Fiddles right next to him to control the lane, shove it out, and fear anybody that comes close.
Exactly. Explaining one of the biggest reasons why Fiddle is so good with Heimer is because this is a hard shoving lane that becomes so incredibly difficult to gank. Heimer by himself is already a little scary to gank if you're calling your jungler because of the turrets. But if you have a Fiddlesticks to set up Heimerdinger, all he has to do is fear the closest enemy, and that means it's a guaranteed grenade hit, which is going to charge up the lasers on your turrets that are already sitting down, plus one that you can drop. Then you can also get the second laser charge with your rockets, and that is enough to kill someone in the early game. So this duo is highly prized by a lot of teams, and it's kind of one of the reasons why.
For those of you who didn't catch Jat's quick Spark Notes class on Heimerdinger when we first started to see it, once you hit the grenade, all the turrets get really mad at whoever happened to be the recipient of that attack. So always be on the lookout for those beams heading your way if you get a little bit too close to these guys. As we get through the second part of the bans, though, it's Graves and Yasuo targeted by these two teams. Liquid trying to affect the jungle pool of contracts there a little bit by the Golden Guardians. Want to make sure they don't have any wind walls blocking all these projectiles.
Yeah, Yasuo has been used in the mid lane as a matchup versus Zoe. Blocking projectiles is so huge against that champion, quite obviously, because almost all of her kit revolves around them, aside from picking up extra spells. And they don't want that possibility coming in, even though Poe Belter as a player did get some flame for his Yasuo play at, what was it, Rift Rivals? Before Rift Rivals
and MSI.
Even, and MSI.
Both of those.
Yeah, he still has, put in a lot of work on the champion. So they're banning it out here along with Darius.
And you're also going to see further jungle targeting from the side of Team Liquid. You mentioned earlier, when you see Zoe with something like an aggressive early jungler, it can really set the Zoe up, get her going. They want to make sure Contracts isn't on that in the form of the Xin Zhao this game, so they'll ban that one away. Team Liquid picking up the gangplank for Impact.
So
this is an LCK reference for those of you who may not be completely aware, but I don't know if they'll go through with it.
Yeah, Viper in the LCK for Team Griffin, #1 there. They were able to get a victory using Teemo in the bottom lane as the carry. Wasn't exactly the reason why they won, but
it didn't stop them from winning.
he was in there, and he was a big part. Global Taunt always effective. Here we go, though. Camille has been locked in for this game, and that's an interesting move here. You talked about early aggressive junglers. Camille takes Xin Zhao even up one notch here, because the hook shot, when you're hook shotting off a wall towards the champion, it extends the range. Camille's ganks, especially around lanes just like mid lane that have walls all around it and Fog of War you can jump out of, puts a lot of extra pressure on that matchup no matter what it is. So actually a hover over Malzahar here with the shield might actually be the defensive pick that Pobelter's looking for, because you know there's so many difficulties when you're trying to play out a matchup and the enemy jungler hasn't been seen. And Camille's engage range just inherently puts that extra threat onto your matchup and makes you play safer.
And we hit a little bit on Pobelter's Yasuo performances at events like MSI and Rift Rivals earlier, and in order to be fair and present both sides of it, I gotta make sure I applaud his Malzahar here, because at MSI, when Liquid started off struggling with picks like the Yasuo and these things that people were confused, why are they deviating from the plans and the strategies that worked for this team that made them successful? Once POB got back on the Malzahar, he put up some pretty stellar performances and made things happen. I like seeing him on this champion.
Yeah, they already have plenty of damage locked in with their team composition. We talked about them. More standard styles. They've got the Varus and the Gangplank there for impact. So Pobelter will be lending some hard CC, adding some magic damage to the profile so that Golden Guardians can't just stack one resistance type. And we'll get into it here. Impact, though, on the GP, actually, he has had some good games, but also had some very, very bad games. 0 and 8, I believe. This split was one of the games for him, so Impact definitely gonna have some extra eyes on him evaluating the performance as well.
There's so much damage potential on both of these teams. Lorlo on the Gnar being picked into that Gangplank as well to try to deny the barrels from range, make sure he keeps this GP under control as much as possible, tries to deny some of that hyper scaling into the late game as a carry. But we're loading into Summoner's Rift for the 4th time today as these two teams go head to head. It's number 1 from Spring versus number 10 from Spring. But if Golden Guardians pull off this win, these two are going to be tied.
And remember, as always, with Golden Guardians versus Team Liquid, we like to bring up that Lorlo and Matt were both on this squad. Mickey as well played against Team Liquid, or played on Team Liquid. So whenever they go up against this squad, you know, they've said in interviews, they get more fired up. You know, they want to prove that they have so much value and that they have grown stronger apart from the Team Liquid squad.
It's one of those things that I feel is almost just a general rule is if you were a part of something before, no matter how you were a part of it, no matter whether you left on your own or whether it wasn't your choice, it doesn't matter. All those things just come down to I'm playing against someone, something that I used to be part of. You want to look good doing it. You want to say, yeah, that's me.
Even if you don't want to get back with your ex,
Even if you want to get back with your ex. Yeah, you want to make sure they're looking at you going, damn, okay. Okay.
Well, Mickey is trading here early with Pobelter, not necessarily getting the better of the trade. Pretty even health bars there. As Pobelter is running a Predator on Malzahar, by the way. You can see his keystone here. Similar to Vladimir style that we've seen pop up for some of the mid laners during this year. If you have a Predator on Malzahar, we talk about the easy point and click ultimate for the suppression, hard CC from him. All he's got to have to do is activate his boots, and they're going to be able to catch someone. So that'll be very interesting, you know, as long as it doesn't cause him to lose lane harder. You can see the Airy doing a lot of work for Mickey in these trades. That's kind of the trade-off when you want to use Predator. Oh, there we go.
Contracts. Nice gank into the mid lane early on, and Pobelter's out of there. It's first blood for Golden Guardians.
We said exactly this will happen in Champion Select, Captain Flowers. Contracts makes his way there as early as possible, just gets the level 2 off of red buff, and immediately takes down the mid laner. Take another look here. Mickey's been trading with Pobelter the entire time, by the way. As we said, Contracts goes in for the hook shot, flashes, so he makes sure he lands it, and Pobelter, no recourse, gonna go down there. Really well played, honestly, because even though we minutes ahead, we're thinking this is going to come, right? We're like, remember last time Mickey was on the on the Zoe, and they hard camped did. Well, they're able to pull it off again, even if you think it's coming. And on the top side here, Lorlo pushing away in the Gnar GP matchup.
Lorlo will keep Impact underneath that turret for now, farming up plenty of money of his own. You can see Impact has a couple items in the inventory from the Klepto procs, just making sure that he's constantly harassing his opponent with the Q, but it's Smithy in the bottom lane now. Go in on to Deathly, and Matt Deathly having already popped the flash is very vulnerable here. Ole gonna have things turned right back around. That's what you were talking about, Kobe. You can't make these plays like that. Now they're turning right Liquid bit off way more than they can chew.
Oh, yeah, I hate to see that. 3 members gank bottom lane. The Fiddlesticks.
Oh, Matt, you monster!
Oh, my God. Flowers, that is insane. As the jungler on Golden Guardian's side, you know Contracts is looking up bottom like, oh, dang, sorry, guys, you just got ganked. Oh, they got a triple kill and turned it around. I don't even have to do anything. That is a complete mental breaker right there for Team Liquid.
All right, let's take a look at this Acer Predator replay to see how this 2v3 went down.
Okay, so as we said, what they're going to do, bait you into the turrets, then hit them with the fear from Fiddlesticks while they're taking all this damage. This is also in the minion wave, so Olay goes right in. All the turrets are on him. They got the fear, they got the ignite. They're able to get the grenade, I believe, plus all the minions and the turrets. Then he charges up the laser there, definitely levels up, and he lands the ability. So they also got the trundle and then flowers.
Look at my boy Matt, right underneath the turret. Right, that is the most Chad Fiddlesticks I have ever seen. Does not care about the turrets, does not care that he's alone. He's got a package to deliver, and it's going straight to double in.
And as we said after the replay, the jungler on the team that just got a triple bottom and didn't have to participate gets to go on the offensive. So Contracts, he counter jungle Smithy, makes Smithy feel even worse. After he revives and tries to get out to his other side of the map, Contracts has already been there, they already have control, and he can move it on through.
What a beautiful turnaround by Golden Guardians in the bottom lane. Brings them up to over 2,000 gold ahead. 5 minutes into this game. Mickey does find a Sleepy Trouble bubble onto Pobelter, but considering he was drawing turret aggro, couldn't follow it up with a Paddle Star. As Definitely and Matt are just going to continue doing what we see this lane do every time it pops up. They shove the wave in, they keep you under turret, and they make life pretty damn bad.
Both of the early plays for Golden Guardians, predictable, yet both of them successful. Mid lane here, Contracts still actually looking at Pobelter, and Mickey actually goes in.
He drops the exhaust, Sleepy Trouble Bubble, not finding the connect just yet. Still thinking about making this one happen along with Contracts. Damage coming through, Ignite is down, and it's easy, baby. 1, 2, 3, that's 5-0 for Golden Guardians.
Meanwhile, bottom lane's calling for help from Smithy. Hey, dude, that last one did not work out for us.
Let's try it again.
Try number 2.
All right, let's see if they can remember the problems from last time. Gangplank ulti going to be coming in. That one could make a big difference. Matt going to be the target here first and foremost. Trying to collapse, find those blows. They will get it. Grabbing the shutdown onto that one. Team Liquid find their first kill here of this game. Contract shows up, looking to grab one in retaliation. Finds the slow. Now looking to make the stun. It's Olay who's in some trouble. Gets himself away. Golden Guardians will not find anything in return just yet. Trouble Bubble over the wall has no follow-up. Little rockets are going to come through, but Team Liquid still gets everybody out.
Team Liquid definitely needed that one. If not, just for the gold, for a little bit of morale to swing this game back around, because Golden Guardians were just going full steam ahead, diving over and over again. So now that Smithy's been able to get the counter kill here for the bottom lane, the kill credit, actually, they would have rather had Double Lift get it to help them have easier time down bottom, but you know, Smithy being able to secure it is definitely good for him to try and catch up in the jungle at least.
You'd always rather just have the non-optimal person get the kill than have them stand there and say, don't worry, here you go, and then the guy walks away. It's one of those things that just sometimes has to play out in the non-preferred way, I guess you would say, as Smithy still only level 4 here on this trundle, has a ways to go before he has that ultimate available if these guys find themselves in any more of those big fights, while bottom side definitely is level 6 on the Heimerdinger. That means the big turret can come out if these guys decide to make a dive happen here. Control ward placed down, Mickey shows up. There comes your Trouble Bubble, not finding anyone just yet. Contracts wants to come in here as well. Olay already popping the shield, but the root down onto Mickey puts him in a really bad spot, and Golden Guardians go way too far forward. Contracts now needs to find his Olay in this one, but it's Pobelter who goes forward and delivers the ulti. Big error from Golden Guardians. Awesome punish from Liquid.
Easy come, easy go, my friend. Golden Guardians, very poor dive right there from Mickey. Goes right into the Braum by himself. Gets locked up. Really nice reaction there from Double Lift. Just lands the Varus ultimate on him. That's an easy kill. And then Contracts, not sure if his hookshot was on cooldown waiting down there. I assume so, because that's the only reason he'd be waiting at that wall. But he isn't able to get over before the rest of the team arrives, and Team Liquid are able to collapse and get it back. So once again, Mickey, he goes in, everything from his side is blocked by the Braum Unbreakable, and then it made it easy for Doublelift to land the Varus ultimate because you go back to the same spot on Zoe that you started your ult from, and then Pobelter trails down. He picks up the second kill, and just like that, Team Liquid closing the gap.
Team Liquid now 3-5. They've got that gold lead down to 1,000 instead of over 2,000 like it was before. But you've still got to constantly deal with this in bottom lane, this eternally shoving duo of the Heimerdinger and the Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks also now, with the Crow Storm available, means you've got to have that much more concern when you try to combat these guys with a gank.
Yeah, definitely have to be very careful around this bottom area for both sides now, actually. Doublelift also did get one of those kills, and he's going for the early tier to spam out some wave clear to deal with this Heimerdinger lane here. Plus, the early lethality from the serrated Dirk trying to have a bigger impact of those arrows that were buffed.
And we have seen more of a return of lethality Varus since he got some buffs to the AD ratios on his abilities. It's what's making that make sort of a comeback as compared to the crit builds that we were seeing. And as you can see right now, Pobelter 998 kills in the North American LCS regular season so far coming into this game. That means if he can find 2, he'll hit that big 4-digit mark. We'll keep an eye on him as the game goes on, as Xmithie steps out of the way of the Sleepy Trouble bubble. Contracts with a level up on his opponent in the jungle, but neither of these two going to get into a fight just yet. Mid laner still hanging around, shadowing this fight as Contracts takes control over the river.
Yeah, you also really have to be worried when you're in these 2v2 mid-jungle fights over vision. Where is the bottom lane pushing? Because Golden Guardians, if they're constantly shoving Doublelift and Olay under the turret, then they would also be first to roam up the river. And it's this entire map awareness that you need to keep in mind when you're fighting over the wards.
Contracts jumps himself over the wall with a hook shot. Will be zoned away by the pillar here a little bit. Matt looking to go in, drops the ulti, gets the fear down as well. Pobelter's going to be deleted as the grenades and rockets find their way over the wall. As Contracts jumping in here as well. Hook shot secures him. Another one as Mickey makes sure he grabs the credit onto it. But a return kill for Team Liquid from the hands of Doublelift. Xmithie now having to walk away, Subjugate keeping him alive. As the Gangplank ulti rains down and forces the Guardians back, they'll still take the win in a 2-for-1.
Yep, 2-for-1. Plus, they should be able to get the first turret bonus gold for themselves and get the extra area on the map to work with. Constant bottom lane focus here does pay off again this time, even though Matt walks up and there is a ward there. Team Liquid make the call to try and back off. Matt has flash, so he flashes in with Fiddlesticks. They get the kill onto Pobelter at the very beginning and allow them to push forward.
And remember, the way Fiddlesticks works these days, remember the passive. Once you've stood still for so long, you get a move speed bonus. So as soon as he's chailing that ulti, once he comes out, boom, he's fast.
And there is a control ward in here turning that ward off, and they saw him walk into it, but too little too late there. Once Fiddlesticks is on top of you, can't do anything. Also good setup there from Deathly over the wall, landing his combo onto the Braum and ensuring that they are going to get one more kill. Gangplank Ultimate lets Team Liquid get one back, though, as they take down Contracts.
Contracts 0, 2, and 3 so far on the Camille. You think of Camille jungle, you think of wanting to make a lot of things happen early. 0 and 2 in terms of kills and deaths isn't normally what you would want to see there, but the 3 assists have been absolutely critical in setting up some of these plays, getting the rest of the team ahead. Team Liquid still trying to just get some footing in this bottom lane, though. 95 to 100 CS means that Doublelift's done a good job of not falling too far behind in terms of that respect, but in terms of tempo and control, it's just been the Golden Guardians game ball.
Definitely has been. It's more dangerous now. Look at the combo from Mickey there under turret. Pobelter taking 60% of his health, and there's the deep turret.
Here's Lorlo, baby. The Meganar comes in. The damage is down. Doublelift is gone, and Olay says, I'll see you soon, buddy. It's Golden Guardians picking up 2.
Deep wards here allow for teleport channels, and the Golden Guardians are keeping up the momentum on bottom side. Oh my goodness. Matt and Deathly really making their presence felt here, as well as the entire focus. Honestly, the only guy we haven't seen on screen from Golden Guardians is Lorlo with the dart.
Oh, now.
And he finally is like, you know what? All the action's bottom lane. What's going on down here,
He was
guys?
waiting for his moment. He just had to make a cool entrance, and he finally found the perfect time to do it.
Got to
Get
assist for
something
himself.
style. Exactly. That's how you make the TPs count. As Golden Guardians now pick themselves up the first elemental Drake of the game, the Mountain will provide them extra turret and objective control as they move forward. 3,500 gold lead will likely get larger here as they pick up the Rift Herald and can use that to target whichever one of these turrets they want to go for next. The side of Team Liquid to catch up. Was actually Team Liquid taking the Rift Herald down there. They should hopefully be able to find something in the top lane with all the bodies that they're putting up there, but they need to staunch this bleeding. Stop letting Golden Guardians make plays like this.
All right, Lorlo finally able to join in on the bottom side. He does it in a very explosive fashion too. Able to come in with the immediately flash Gnar into the wall for the double stun and set up some clean kills for his team. So now everybody has taken a hand in the winning bottom side of the map, but now we're going to have a very interesting next 5 minutes of this game because, as you said, you know, the Rift Herald's picked up for Team Liquid, but they are so far behind in gold that it's going to be hard for them to actually open up a really positive opportunity to make use of it. You know, middle turret's already getting whittled down so hard. Big items are coming through, you know, for the Golden Guardians already. So these next few moments are going to be very critical for how Team Liquid make their comeback in this game. Are they going to be able to pull it off? Are they going to be able to kind of shut down some of these Golden Guardians players? Or is it going to be a bit of a snowball here? Doublelift has finally completed the Ghost Blade. So first lethality item completed. And he does have this tier still stacking. However, not a lot of room for them to siege up with and fire off those arrows.
On the side of Golden Guardians, what I really want to see is this tempo to continue. You can see they just took down the tier 1 turret there in mid lane, and all too often the complaints that we levy against the teams, even the teams that do well in the North American LCS, are a lot of times it seems like they just sit there and do nothing. They get ahead and they're like, well, where do we go from here? If Golden Guardians wants to continue this upward trajectory that they've had of going from a bottom tier team to having such incredible improvement in summer, the way you keep doing that is showing us that you can take a small win, turn it into a big win, expand those leads, get the fast win, continue building those advantages, and that's what I want to see as we get more and more into this mid-game. This is a point where a lot of teams will stumble, a lot of teams will fall, and Golden Guardians, if they can demonstrate control over that, can do some honestly really cool things with this composition.
All right, top side though, they are going to try and defend this. A lot of vision being taken out from Golden Guardians though. They're clearing out some opportunities for themselves here. You really have to be worried about so many different angles when you're playing against the Fiddlesticks. So it looks like definitely trying to bait too. Anytime you get a little bit of vision on that Heimerdinger, you have to be careful about over chasing because Matt does have the flash ready on Fiddlesticks to go for that counter initiation.
I also want to keep an eye on second items coming through because you can see the Ludens done for both the Zoe and the Heimerdinger. A lot of times one of the best items you can get on Heimerdinger is the Zhonya's Hourglass because you're not stopping your own damage output really while you're Zhonya's. The turrets are doing a ton of the work. And it's so good for baiting people into this turret death machine room. I want to see if he goes for that or if he goes for the more AP-heavy choice as Team Liquid fire up Shelly here in the mid lane and claim their own first turret.
Good use of the Rift Herald there for Team Liquid to get some gold back for themselves. They just need to fund their item builds. Nice large health charge off from Shelly as well on the secondary turret, taking that one to half. But yeah, it's definitely good for Team Liquid to find an opportunity being behind to actually get some gold, out of their Rift Herald activation. That being said, Golden Guardians feeling very good about the state of this game. If they can complete this vision control, as you see, they clear out the last of the control wards here from the mid lane, then they really have a great opportunity, like you're talking about, to transition this through the mid game. And it would start here with the last outer turret. Looks like they're sieging up. There's a lot of poke that can come out from Zoe, obviously.
More damage going through with the rockets and the grenades, and if they can take down this final tier 1, that means more pushing up into enemy territory, more wards down, more chance for those picks with Zoe and Camille.
Yeah. The Sleepy Trouble bubbles will be coming through. The Crow Dark Winds from Fiddlesticks as well under the turret, and Heimerdinger trying to harass this whole time, but could be a hard engage from Team Liquid. If Pobelta roams up through the jungle and uses Predator, they might actually try and go for a kill.
But look at these 3 little turrets. That's saying I dare you to come fight us in here. They're already prepared on the side of Golden Guardians for a Team Liquid counterattack.
Yeah, Pobelta's trying to hide on their one control ward, but Golden Guardians do have a little bit deeper vision here to see him on the run. Predator has not been activated, so they're not committing to it yet.
Ole will continue doing the best he can, throwing up the Unbreakable to try to save as much damage from hitting towards anyone else on the team or the turret as possible. Doublelift wants to move forward, does get hit by the Trouble Bubble, and Contract decides he's in trouble indeed. Can't get himself away. In comes the Crow Storm, and Ole will again join him so very shortly. Golden Guardians, 2 for 0.
Yep, given enough time, they're able to find the pick here. Lands onto Doublelift, and 2 kills for their troubles. That should be the end of the outer turret standing for Team Liquid, as Golden Guardians will take another. Dragon's on the way with 9 seconds on this Cloud Drake as well.
There's that tempo I was talking about, baby. That's what you want to see from a team. Be aggressive, but make sure you're careful enough about it that you don't get punished. And let's see how they found that punish on the Doublelift here.
About 3 waves here worth of poke efforts from the Golden Guardians. Mickey finally lands his bubble onto Doublelift, and there's the all-in. Contract also was able to use the untargetable frame there from Camille. Gets just over the Braum ultimate. Traps them inside for Matt's Crow Storm to clean it up. Team Liquid, though, get the consolation prize. They go to the other side of the map. Good pickup there. At least able to get themselves a Cloud Drake to try and help out with their defensive rotations where they're moving from secondary turret to secondary turret and trying to find an opening here or some sort of mistake from the Golden Guardians.
Matt is 5-1-2 on Fiddlesticks this game. 12 minutes, I don't know what I'm saying for 12. 19 minutes into the game, he's got Zhonya's Hourglass completed. That's your big tool in these team fights to make sure that you're not just suiciding in with your ultimate, but instead just creating a massive zone of control. Ooh, it's scary now.
And I know you love the Zhonyas for the bait plays, but also, Heimerdinger, it looks like if he goes for a death cap, you can just
blow somebody
one-shot
up.
people.
Why do you need to stay alive if everybody else is dead? Then you're good to go.
Super-powered rockets may be coming shortly. Here we go, though. Good use of sweepers here for Golden Guardians. They continue to try and control this vision and allow themselves to get more of the picks that we have seen. For Team Liquid, it's so difficult because they don't have a really easy way of hard engage. Again, it comes back to this Predator Malzahar that they would have trying to run in along with their more beefy members to lock someone down. And now Baron has started up.
Oh, this can get real crazy real fast. Gangplank ultimate called down to make sure the Golden Guardians get the hell away. Mickey throws a little bit of damage down, out onto Ole, finds the Trouble Bubble onto Xmithy. Won't be able to follow it up with the Paddle Star just yet. Golden Guardians, I like the call there, but Team Liquid did have a ward just in the right spot outside of the pit to know what was going on.
And Impact is still farming away on that Gangplank in the side lane. So a stall there is very good for Team Liquid. You know, if Golden Guardians commit their resources up to the Baron and Team Liquid are able to stop them with just a Gangplank ultimate and a little bit of posturing from the rest of the team in a menacing manner, then that is some good time bought for them, right? This is now a Trinity Force Sterix completion for Impact. And we said there was going to be a lot of eyes on him. You know, he had some good performances on Gangplank, but also some lackluster ones. And if it's going to be a big barrel chain to bring them back into the game, then he might very well earn his keep.
Something very interesting, talking about stalling this game out. If you look at where the gold is, you can say, yeah, it's a 3,000 gold lead. That's pretty impactful. That's important. But look at the itemization on the side of Golden Guardians, specifically the front line. QSS on both the Gnar and the Camille means 2,600 gold of that 3K lead is invested in the Malzahar tax. So we're actually at a very even game right now in terms of the combat strength of the two teams. Liquid is far from being out of this or at the mercy of the Golden Guardians, but at the same time, the Guardians have been playing a clean game so far.
Yeah, it's interesting too when you get into the tax talk, because so much of Malzahar's power of that tax does actually get taken away from the team fight too if you have a QSS and you use it on his ult. Then he also doesn't bring as much combat stats from the...
Oh, I'm fully aware of how hard QSS makes you feel bad as a suppression player.
Very true. All right, well, they're grouping up right now. Team Liquid trying to deal with the vision control that Golden Guardians have set up. Swiftpush still going pretty standard here for the GP Gnar.
With the Black Cleaver, going for the Frozen Mallet next to make sure that that Gangplank can't get away from him as easily if he gets tagged in the long lane. As Golden Guardians will continue trying to establish some control here over the Baron area. 23 minutes into the game, that will be the name of things to come. We'll see if they can make a pick happen out of this one. Xmithy going to be in some trouble. Ultimate's going to be used as the Hextech ultimatum is issued, but it's turned around, and the shutdown comes through. Contracts is taken out.
Smithy was able to get his ultimate off there on Trundle, so he becomes deceptively tanky. Even though he's not stealing stats from a pure tank, anything helps. He does survive there. And Team Liquid are able to collapse, kill Contracts in a counter, and again, more importantly, they stall out this game. They buy some more time, they get some of the standing gold that's sitting here in the outer turrets, and Pobelter will be able to pick up the local gold on this outer side turret from the top of the map.
The game gets closer and closer. It's always so risky, Kobe, to try to initiate on somebody like a Trundle, unless you're just going to insta-gib him, which is really, really hard in its own right. It's just always not a guarantee, and unfortunately for Golden Guardians, they learned that one the hard way this time around.
And again, I do need to commend Team Liquid from fighting behind here. Look at the vision that they've set up for that play. They've got control wards throughout their own jungle. They're fighting this battle of vision around Baron very effectively, despite all of these skill shots that are coming out from the Golden Guardians and this possibility of picks that we've seen. So, they're definitely concentrating their efforts in the correct area here because, Baron can be killed so quickly from Golden Guardians if they get complete vision control and they're left alone, right? Heimerdinger and a Mountain Drake on their team, they could definitely take that sucker down quickly.
Tries to jump in, find a little bit of damage underneath the turret here.
Oh, Matt's looking for an ult.
Matt really wants to get his fiddlesticks on here underneath the tier 2 turret, but not willing to go in just yet. Pobelter is in the top lane, pushing towards the tier 2.
The classic Predator split push Malzahar, my friend.
Of course.
Working wonders.
How did we not anticipate Predator split push Malzahar? One thing we did anticipate is these two in the side lane constantly having to deal with one another in the 1v1. Lorlo's Gnar will continue applying that pressure onto the tier 2 now. As Smithy looks for the pillar in mid lane, Deftly and Matt will get themselves away just in time.
All right, can't overchase there. Nice little defense from Team Liquid, though. You can tell with the counter pressure of Pobelter split pushing on top side, they actually have a bit of the pressure from Lorlo split pushing dissipate on bottom.
Flash for flash.
You better respect that
Predator. That was just double flashes. That was Deftly and Matt both saying nope, 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 nope.
Yeah, look at the Predator cooldown, too. That thing is actually very short later and later into the game as Pobelter is getting some levels. Now we do have Team Liquid once again looking for some more speed for themselves as they burn down this Drake, and they're going to have to get over to the other side of the map to defend against a possible Mountain Drake Baron set up from the Golden Guardians.
And as much as we've talked about Golden Guardians having tempo in this game and having control so far, it's Team Liquid that have the advantage in terms of the neutral objectives. Remember, they were the ones that got Rift Herald. Remember, now they have 2 Drakes compared to the 1. Liquid have been doing a great job in that respect.
Definitely true. Liquid have almost closed the gap as well as as far as the gold is concerned as well. With Impact diligently farming away on the gangplank, also getting some kills for himself. It's going to be scarier and scarier the later that Golden Guardians do get into this game.
Ooh, flash popped by Impact there to make sure he gets himself away from Lorlo. Won't have that one up for the next team fight, but didn't want to risk getting caught out there.
Yeah, he was worried about the rest of the team. Matt goes in though! Go, 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 go!
Storm as Smithy will once again be forced to be the target. This is not where you want to be if you're Golden Guardians. They put themselves in a real bad spot, forcing like that again onto the tankiest member of Team Liquid, and they're punished hard.
Oh, that is a na, Captain Flowers. He goes in, and 2 members for the Golden Guardians go down. That is Team Liquid setting up on Baron as well. Lorlo does have his teleport ready, but he's continuing to split push as Team Liquid burn down the objective.
Impatience is a fast and spontaneous killer, and Golden Guardians just cannot find their moment organically. They try to force the play out. It backfires, and the reward for Team Liquid is a punish into a Baron. They couldn't be happier about that one. Lorlo has to head back now as well, unable to put significant damage into the tier 3. Let's take another look at how this dive went wrong.
Matt looking for Doublelift, but Doublelift flashes over the wall and then lands his own ultimate onto Contracts, again catching the squishy dive members from Golden Guardians in a vulnerable position under the turret and allowing the rest of Team Liquid to collapse and punish the aggressive move there from Golden Guardians. Really well done there by the veterans here on Team Liquid. This is your spring split first place team fighting back from a big deficit. And now they've got Baron. They've got the gold lead for what might even be one of the first times in this whole game if you take out some of the very early couple of seconds. And they're poised to take a lot with this Baron power ploy.
The pendulum is swinging, but how much inertia is behind it? How hard are Liquid going to hit back now that they find themselves in the driver's seat? Things have seemed to have been going their way for a while now. Gold difference over time. You can take a look at the graph. It's been blue, 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 red. And now Team Liquid will continue that push here down the mid lane. Tier 2 under siege, still barely standing. More damage being delivered by that Baron up cannon minion.
I love the way you read graphs, by the way. Nice vocalization there of the game.
That's how it,
That's how it going down as well.
That's how it spoke to me.
I feel you. All right, Lorlo dealing with the bottom lane split push from Impact as well, who's level 17 on the game split now. Actually, both of those split pushers have been, kind of holding hands most of the game, so they're still very close in gold as well, it looks like. Actually, never mind, not gold, only the experience. Another little bit of damage left to do on this last secondary turret, though, for the top side for Team Liquid to take up.
Liquid are showing no mercy on this one. Now they find themselves in control of the turret count as well. 5-4 after taking down that tier 2 in the top lane. One tier 2 left standing. All that remains of the of the Golden Guardians, fortifications outside their own base. Liquid will continue pushing up, taking down those objectives. Xmithie moves through the enemy jungle. They did such a good job controlling their own jungle when they were on the defense, and now look at all the wards they placed down in the enemy jungle. If Golden Guardians try to step out and do anything tricky, if Matt wants a flank, he's going to have to be real careful where he walks.
It really is, good attention to detail here from the team. Constantly remembering to get all their extra control wards, move the lines up. Xmithie's going to be able to pillar Lorlo off, and there you go. Another turret down, and some more gold for Team Liquid.
Now it's time for the daunting task that so many teams end up finding difficulty with. Ramming your head into the wall of the base.
Predator.
Off the brakes, but Matt's made his way into the fight, starting things off with the Crowstorm. It's only on the front line, gonna be tanking everything up. Sleepy Trouble. Oh, Lorlo! Lorlo finds a 5-man ulti, but is it gonna be enough? He has to go into the stopwatch now. His contracts wants to deliver the killing blows, can't quite find him. POB gets hit by the grenade, and Team Liquid has to retreat.
What a wombo of a fight right there. Golden Guardians make their stand, Captain Flowers. Backs against the walls with Team Liquid knocking on the door of the inhibitor. And it is a big initiation there. Number 1 from Matt, and then number 2 comes in from Lorlo. Let's take a look. They're grouped up. He flashes in immediately Zhonya's, so they have no extra damage. Really big Heimer stun bounced through everyone to set up Lorlo for this, by the way. He flashes in. He's able to get the giant Gnar against the wall, uses his own stopwatch there. Contracts actually, his ult gets immune from both Belter's stopwatch, and then he goes down as Doublelift was left standing right next to him. But man, what an exchange there as we still are fighting here. 31 minutes into the game.
I love the call there from Golden Guardians. Okay, now we fight. They're not just going to allow Liquid to force down this base the same way they forced down the tier 2s. They knew where they were going to fight. They made it happen, and it worked out. They hold the line now. Baron buff is gone. They've got a little bit of time to recuperate and recover before those next big neutral objectives are up. Cloud Drake has spawned now. Liquid have total control over that area. They're not really too worried. And you can see the total damage dealt to champions in the last fight. The most damage on the side of Golden Guardians was Lorlo, thanks to that massive team-wide AoE. Yeah, he beat the Zoe by 50 damage, but he beat him.
Uh-oh. Triple Cloud Drakes picked up for Team Liquid, though, and they're actually behind Golden Guardians. Here we go!
This could be real bad, real fast. Golden Guardians have to find a way out of this one. Mickey immediately flashing to make sure he stays behind the rest of his team. Xmithie wants to continue zoning the Guardians away. Team Liquid has the inside track on the base. They'll still maintain that position, making sure they keep the Guardians off in their own part of the jungle, and this could give Liquid some good collapse time. Sleepy Trouble Bubble goes through, finds its way onto Doublelift of all people. That is going to keep Team Liquid focused on the inhibitor turret instead of the team of the Golden Guardians. Inhibitor turret falls. Inhibitor now could be the next target. More bubbles flying out. Matt not finding the opportunity to ult in just yet. It's Mickey in some trouble. Remember, he's got no flash. He's got no way out. Matt makes his way into the back line, and Team Liquid now in some trouble of their own, but they've turned it right back around immediately. Definitely's got no way to fight back so far. Has to flash out on his own. Lorlo can't find the damage. Liquid is down, but not out. They're still hobbling themselves away. It's Doublets, Ole, and Smithy all very low. Lorlo low now as well. Definitely going in from behind to cut them off, seeing what he can do. But Liquid escapes off to the side. They've got their sneak shoes on. They're getting the hell out of town.
Definitely with the next level science on his teleport out to the mid lane. Minion saw where he was, so he couldn't cut off the team and didn't want to blindly face check into 3 members no matter how low they are. But Flowers, we have another exciting one on our hands. Everyone from Golden Guardians trying to funnel through the small corridor here while Team Liquid take down the turret. And Mickey does go in on Zoe after the bubble lands. As soon as he pops his R ultimate there, they know he's popping right back. So good reaction there from Ole. He's able to get a stun off. Matt, though, sees that the crowd control is down, so he goes in onto Fiddlesticks. Contracts follows up to get the second kill there. And you think with 4 members, Team Liquid on the chase, but Lorlo comes up with a big play. He's able to get Mega Gnar to pop off just in time, and Impact walked up right next to the tombstone there, which ends up being his own.
Is that what the thing is in the base? Is a tombstone?
It looks like a tombstone to me.
Well, I never knew what those things were. I thought they were just decorative rocks, but here we go. Golden Guardians and Team Liquid for 35 minutes.
A tombstone is just a decorative rock.
Okay, we're going to get philosophical here. Instead, we're going to turn attention to the 2 guys doing the most damage in these fights. Impact and Deftly putting down so much damage over the course of that last big fight. 35 minutes in, 28 kills between these 2 teams as Golden Guardians, again, having to retreat away from Team Liquid. Sleepy Trouble filed out. Matt wants to find his way into the fight, wants to ult over the wall. Mickey's still getting himself away. Matt not finding the chance to get himself into the middle of everyone just yet. But Deftly's got the artillery fire as Smithy has to back himself away. Sleepy Trouble Bubble not finding the way onto anyone just yet, but the Guardians do a good job of disengaging this one.
Another explosive exchange here from both teams. Lorlo still has Guardian Angel passive here ready to use as well. He's trying to push out these minions as the rest of Golden Guardians retreat to the side lanes there. You can see definitely as soon as he shows, Team Liquid should be able to move up as well. They've got the reset. Pobelter has teleport on Malzahar, and he's using it by the Baron.
Pobelter wants to help the team just rush this one down, be in position if they can. Mickey fires off the Trouble Bubble again, gonna land the Drowsy onto Ole this time. Lorlo walking very close here up to the brush, gonna be zoned out by the pillar. Team Liquid still backing away as a unit, 5 men strong. Boomerang comes out, does 3.5 damage. Not really a lot to write home about.
Predator still active here from...
Trax caught out and deleted. Impact making sure he's got the damage on that one as Mickey's going to be very low now as well. The barrels come out. The Zonias is down, but it will not be enough as Mickey goes the same way as his teammate. The rest of the Guardians now have to kite themselves back. Matt's over the wall, could be making the ulti here into the fight, throws the crows instead, definitely goes over the wall into the Baron pit. He stays alive, but the Golden Guardians' job is not yet done. Smithy will continue to zone. Pings come out from Liquid onto the Baron pit, and that's the call.
Yeah, they're gonna send most of their members over to the Baron, but Impact is gonna try and defend the push from Golden Guardians, who are gonna counter on bottom side with this double, triple stacked even wave that they're gonna try and take down an inhibitor turret in trade for this Baron. Now you wanna rush down Baron as quickly as possible, get those Baron empowered recalls to help deal with it, and Team Liquid even feel like they're sending another member back here with Ole answering. So no trade done. That one's canceled. Only the Baron will go over for Team Liquid.
This is such a damn fun game of League of Legends. I'm having the time of my life on this one, man. These teams back and forth and Baron. Again, over to Team Liquid. Once again, the Golden Guardians will have to defend after the pick came out that we're gonna see here.
All right, so again, the Predator Malzahar. Pobelter just walks right up. Nice pillar timing there from Smithy as well. As soon as Contracts is down, Golden Guardians have to go into full retreat. Mickey's not going to be able to get out of there, even with the extra speed from Spell Thief. And then it's teleport to try and cut off definitely Lorlo, but this Blast Cone, double effectiveness there as Lorlo over the bottom wall, definitely over the Dragon Wall there, and it does allow 2 of their members to escape, even though Baron's still over to Team Liquid. And this is number 2, so this is a super effective Baron that they're going to be pushing with.
Mega buff, uber buff Baron. Team Liquid has this for 2.
The uber buff!
The uber buff to push into the enemy base with a 9,000 gold lead. But remember, Golden Guardians, you've got a Zoe with a lot of items. You've got a Heimerdinger that still hasn't died. And Bot Magi's Soul Stealer, by the way. Definitely's recognizing, okay, we're in a pretty bad spot. We've got to make some kind of a big comeback play here. Soul Stealer's his path
It's a little
to glory.
late to stack that sucker up.
Don't worry, he's still got the plan going. As the Elder Drake will soon drop to Team Liquid, they've got the 3 Cloud Drakes. That buff is going to be enhanced, as well as getting the true damage burn over time. Only thing better than 1 uber buff is 2 uber buffs. And Team Liquid is a scary obstacle to overcome right now. Golden Guardians will likely only have 1 chance to hold this. If Liquid win the next fight, I'm going to call it GG.
I like the combined Mega buff and Uber buff, the Moober buff, because here they come. True damage burn, Baron empowered minions. Impact is the only thing they're waiting on, moving that minion wave you can see on top side up. And Team Liquid are going to make their final attempt at the big push inside the Golden Guardians base. Turret starting to fall very quickly.
It's being absolutely evaporated now as Liquid will continue their push into the Golden Guardians base. Cobelter taking down that mid lane inhibitor. The top lane falling almost simultaneously. Bottom lane, the only one remaining with an inhibitor standing. Golden Guardians are on their last leg. Remember, the bottom lane inhibitor turret is where we last saw them make their defense. The Liquid chants come out of the crowd. It's been a 40-minute slugfest, but the fans are feeling it. The team is juiced up on these buffs. This could be it.
Can I get the gold graph pulled up once again, and we can see the story of this game? Because even though Team Liquid's such a huge standing right now, remember how so much of the early was Golden Guardians, and they're trying to make another play on bottom side, but Impact has seen behind the wall.
Impact trying to make sure he stays in a good spot. Matt ready to go into this fight if he needs to. They've got eyes on him on the side of Team Liquid. Golden Guardians continuing to defend for now. Here comes the channel. Matt's able to make his way in. Glacial Fissure comes out, not finding his way onto anyone just yet. Lorlo needs to get in there, find a Mega on multiple people yet again. Can't quite get it. Oh, there you go. Big ulti yet again, but no follow-up there just yet. Team Liquid still going to be staying strong. Mickey needs some damage. He can't quite find it. Impact topples himself away. It's 1 dead on the side of the Golden Guardians, one of their frontliners. As the Liquid push will continue, they've still got tools to work with on the side of the Golden Guardians. They've still got health bars, but Team Liquid will not stop today. Sleepy Trouble Bubble not finding its way onto anyone. The cannon minion will tank up the turret. Deathly's rockets continuing to fire out onto this line, as the push will finally be held at bay.
And the Golden Guardians just don't have quite enough damage to find a kill and finish off any of the members of Team Liquid who continue on the siege. Now with the extra champion advantage here, they should be able to get this last inhibitor turret down.
Mickey wants to stop this. Baron power play, 5,000 gold. Team Liquid just continuing to build those leads. A silence down on the map, the damage coming through. There you go, that's another one down on the side of the Golden Guardians. Nexus turret's under siege. Impact making sure he grabbed the kill onto that enemy support as Team Liquid now has all the inhibitors down, now turns their sights over onto Nexus. Now looking to finish this game off. Contracts goes back into the fight. He's going to have that GA proc. He'll stay alive for now. Definitely continues to try to hold them off. Impact goes on a killing spree as a grenade grows through, but the game is done. Liquid take it all.
Woo! Time flies when you're playing League with your friends. What a game. That was a wild ride, my friend. Team Liquid with a big comeback after the Golden Guardians dominating early game through bottom lane. Team Liquid stayed strong. They kept farming. Impact from the bottom side on Gangplank, able to keep up the gold, continue to use his ultimates to stop key objectives being taken by the Golden Guardians. And eventually, Team Liquid pull it back.
Team Liquid, your #1 team from Spring Split, your Spring Split champions. In a day and age where everyone is so close in the standings, the teams that have been great before showcase why they have been that way. The ability to recover from those bad starts, the ability to always be a threat to play to your win conditions. Impact was given time to scale. The rest of the team, we talked about how they did such a great job warding everything up, preparing, making sure that they didn't allow Golden Guardians to continue steamrolling everything down in the mid game. They held off and they found their time to strike back.
Team Liquid successfully defend their first place spot for another day.
Well, Avali is now standing by to hear from the support who helped bring that game back for Team Liquid.
Thanks, guys. What an end to that game. Ole, congratulations on that win. Early on, you guys were having a little bit of a rough time in bot, so how are you guys able to pull through, and why not ban the Heimer?
I think before, if that happened, like we were saying, like, oh, our body's over. Oh, we don't know what to do. But now we learn how to come back. Like in Scream, sometimes we are losing a lot, but we came back. I think that practice helped a lot today. So like today, we are losing. It's okay. We can move. We can make plan. And then, enemy has no flash, and then we just keep making play. I think that's how we turn back. I think first to great.
And last week, Doublelift responded to some of the criticism that you received. So I wanted to ask, like, what was your reaction to the community backlash?
I think that the flag has game. Like he said, walk up, and I just went in. I think it's like it's okay. Like I follow his core. I believe in his play, and if nothing work, it's okay. Just blame me, because it's like I could decide that go in or not, but I believe in his shot core, and I did it and fail. But I just want people to not blame Peter. Like that's my problem. It's not his problem. So yeah, I'm still working on my problem and our Botio synergy. But when our Botio mess up, I will take criticism seriously. Just say whatever you want.
Oh, and everyone asks about the Doublelift Ole relationship in the bot lane. We've heard love, hate, but what do you think about the relationship?
Now it's getting better. Like before, I was kind of emotional, but now I'm like kind of cold man. Like, oh, you say shit, it's okay. I'm gonna take it. Like, it's okay. It's League of Legends. Oh, I can play bad. Oh, I didn't eat you with Tom Catch. Okay, next game I'll be better. Believe in me. Yeah.
Ole, thank you, and congratulations again on your win. And for more in the game, let's hear from the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. I mean, I'm always surprised at the demeanor of Ole, the fact that he can be so cheery all the time. As well, we have to welcome Acadian to the desk to help us break down this crazy comeback victory out of Team Liquid, because this game was getting out of hand at like an astronomical pace for Golden Guardians, and somehow Team Liquid pulled it back in.
Yeah, and if you look at the Golden Guardians team comp, this is kind of their bread and butter. Mickey on Zoe has been pretty good all split long. They get their Heimer fiddle bot lane, Lorlo with the counter pick in the top side. Like, this is vintage classic Golden Guardians.
Yeah, so taking a look at it, though, and the lead that Golden Guardians built up, I do want to identify where exactly it all came from, because, so early on, we talk about maybe not giving the Heimer over to Deftly, but even so, there still has to at some point be knowledge of how to play into this pick.
Yeah, so here, this is just a really standard Camille gank. I think Camille and Zinjao were really meta for a long time. And honestly, if I was jungler on the enemy team, I'd just say Camille's really strong level 2 ganks, put 2 wards in both thought brushes. Enemy team didn't have sweepers, and I think it was just kind of careless by them to not have that happen, so just a free kill on Camille is pretty bad.
And then in this situation, it's a risky gank to go into 2 Heimer turrets unless you've either dealt with the turrets or if you can CC lock the Heimer. They didn't do either of those things, and the cherry on top had us all going crazy back here, saying the game's over.
The greatest play in the history of any LCS League of Legends.
MVP Crow.
Right there. Triple kill for Fiddlesticks.
But it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
That's what was crazy, is because that play felt not like desperation, but like after that goes wrong, you think it's all over. Ole goes in a little bit too soon, and the synergy's not quite perfect. Or and like, who knows why that happened, but you think the game is completely done. And then they continued to dive. It wasn't like that happened and the game stalled out. They dove bottom 2 or 3 more times. They broke the bot lane turret. There's a situation where Mickey sat in the top tri-bush for like a minute and a half just sniping at Doublelift until they finally found more kills. So it really did feel like Golden Guardians had control of this game.
I mean, Acadian, you have experience playing against this squad. What is it about them, that kind of separates them from other teams in terms of the rate at which they generate gold leads?
Yeah, so I think Golden Guardians is one of those teams where they get really hyped. You know, they start winning. They're like, let's go. You know, like, we got to go. We got to kill them all. Everyone just says, go forward, you know, stuff like that. And I think it almost kind of like takes away from some of like the fundamentals, I guess, where they'll skip them and then it'll.
We see that here, right?
Yeah. So basically here, what I was gonna say is they push the mid wave, they push all their waves up, and and Heimer just does not wait for Varus to show on the mid wave. So they're trying to contest this vision, which is definitely the next move in the game. They're trying to contest that, and they don't wait for Varus to show. So it's not actually like a man-up fight. You need to just wait for them to show on mid or top before you actually take the vision. So.
Yeah, and little plays like that completely halt your momentum because it takes several minutes to even get in the position where your top wave's in the right place, where the mid wave can be pushed properly. They just need to be better clearing that vision up.
Right, so to put more clarity to the point, Acadian, they had the right idea of what step needed to be taken next in order to win the game, but the fundamentals, what we're talking about here, the minor steps within that major beat were not necessarily respected and the time wasn't given.
Yeah, you gotta just wait. Like, you're gonna push the wave, right? They have the right idea. Push the wave, then we go take vision. You just gotta sit there. If the wave's dying on the tower, you know, you just let it happen. You know they're sitting there in the bush waiting for you to come. You just wait there, make them lose economy over and over and over again, and that's how you should play it. So.
And all game long, Acadian was pointing out these little minor times that this happened. There was one bot dive that wasn't that clean. There was a Baron force where they didn't establish vision, just started the Baron and TL checked it, and they lost all their momentum again. And that was the big one that really started handing kills back. But a number of times, Acadian pointed out, like, they didn't do this one step, and then it would bite them in the butt.
So this is, I kind of want to rehash a conversation we had off air during the game. It resulted in a lot of these insights that you're providing. Fundamentals. Golden Guardians has a number of young players, has a few experienced players as well. Where do players pick up fundamentals? Because solo queue does not mirror competitive play.
Yeah, I think for me and just for other people, I think you just learn it from players who are super good at it, players that learn macro. I'm sure like coaches, analysts will know some of these things, but I think you just got to learn it. Like I learned, not to say that I'm perfect, but I learned it from some of my teammates in the past, and I think, yeah, I don't know, they just skipped it a lot, so.
So, I mean, the idea being that this guy's played 200 games on stage. I've played 0 games on stage. So he's going to have a better understanding. If I follow in his footsteps more often until it becomes ingrained, then at some point it'll become second nature for me.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like what's the word? It's like a routine, I guess. Not really a routine. It's just a
habit.
It's a push and pull sort of when you get into an LCS game. When you're doing, you know, okay, we push the wave now, and now we go vision. Now they push the wave, they're going vision, you know, stuff like that. And then if you do that for a long time, eventually, if you're the team that's pushing them constantly, you'll just generate a gold lead, generate a pressure lead. Enemy team will be feeling like they're going to lose stuff. They're going to be forced to do things. So that's generally how people play the map.
From here, the last thing I want to discuss is the feeling that either of these teams are coming away with after this one. I have to imagine in the Golden Guardians camp, this one stings to be out so far ahead of a team that you've already beaten once to split in similar fashion. And then for the side of Team Liquid, yes, they're happy to get a comeback victory, but again, this does not scream first place team, you know, in the North American LCS.
Yeah, and for Golden Guardians in particular, this is a game that I know they get up for because a lot of these guys used to be on Team Liquid, and they like kind of getting those revenge matches, so that has to feel pretty terrible, like you were saying. And Team Liquid has higher aspirations than a sloppy game against Golden Guardians in the middle of the split, so you know that they're looking higher than this and not happy with the play.
Yeah, I think that while it does reiterate some of the weaknesses they have early on in the game, like this is not the first time they've been run over early, it reminds you that they do have good fundamentals and they do know how to win in close games and they do know how to prevent a snowball. So there are a lot of good takeaways for Team Liquid in this one, and they can also look at the standings and see that they're tied for first. So that's going to feel decent.
The positive spin on it. I like it. Well, Katie, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate the insight that you've provided. Before we go to break, up next, Clutch Gaming shows off a new look versus 100 Thieves for Game 5. See you then.
Jacob's an LPL jungler.
Yep. Call me MLX maybe.
Whoa.
Ole gonna have things turn right back around. That's what you were talking about, Kobe. You can't make these plays like that. Now they're turning right back around onto Smithy, and Liquid bit off way more than they can chew.
Oh, yeah, I hate to see that. 3 members gank bottom lane. The middle six.
Root down onto Mickey, puts him in a really bad spot, and Golden Guardian go way too far forward.
Single flash.
Finish single flash.
Okay, I'm teaming.
Yeah. I'm looking coming. Yeah.
Finish, no flash. Camille.
Coming.
Nice.
There you go. That's another one down on the side of the Golden Guardians. Nexus Choice under siege. Impact making sure he grabbed the kill onto that enemy support as Team Liquid now has all the inhibitors down. Now turns their sights over onto Nexus. Now looking to finish this game off.
If meat and bread are the backbone of a sub, then Mike's Way is the heart and soul. Lettuce and tomatoes, onions and spices, all drizzled in the juice. That's the difference. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Welcome back to Assist of the Week. During the Week 5 match between Cloud9 and Optic Gaming, Cloud9 charged down mid lane to take down the tower and some Optic members along the way. Just as things were going smoothly, Acadian slingshots himself into Cloud9, abducting 2 members. Power of Evil capitalizes on the play, sinking his blades in with Talon, securing the ace for Optic Gaming.
Gonna be slammed together and taken down.
PoE on the line. He jumps in, nothing personal, kid.